All right. Take two. Last one did not save for some reason. So here we are again, re-recording. And honestly, I think this version is going to be next level because I have some more information that I want to include. What I've been talking about recently is how we do anything is how we do everything. And if you think about what you are not changing, but yet you desire to have a different result in, but you're choosing not to change that, then that's what you're choosing. What you're not changing, you are choosing. What you are not changing, you are choosing, because we all have the ability to change. So I'm going to talk about the ability to change and what this means as far as NLP, which is Neuro-Linguistic Programming. And it's a skill that helps people understand their patterns of their thinkings, their feelings, their behaviors. And when you use the tool of NLP, you can then model, which is a process of identifying and almost reframing strategies that you see other people doing that fit for you so that you can also experience what they're experiencing. So at the end of the day, let's see if that little interruption. Okay, I'm not sure if that interruption did do anything. At the end of the day, what we're talking about here is the process of identifying what patterns and behaviors are working for us and which ones do we need to release and move forward on. And so when you utilize NLP, it's a great tool to not only help recognize and bring that awareness, but also assess and then take that aligned action on the new patterns you wish to install. Because what fires together, wires together. And when you think about your software system, your thoughts, your beliefs, your stories, old paradigms, whatever you want to call them, that's your software system. So how are your beliefs even formulated? Because at one point, someone said something and it made you have a thought, right? So that thought repeated over and over creates a belief. Now, what we do also know is that our thoughts create feelings, and then we take action or we don't take action, and then we have another result. And we look at that result and we say we love the result or it's a not it result. And that we have another thought or feeling about. Then we take action or we don't. And then we have another result. And we have another thought or belief, which then activates another feeling. And then we take action and then we have another result. So it's always happening. This is why we have over 30,000+ decisions a day, which is why a lot of people experience decision fatigue, whether they realize it or not. So when we want to look at these logical levels, because in the logical levels, this is the logical types that can help us with our NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, that both Gregory Bateson and Robert Dilts have provided for us. So this all goes back to what are these 6 logical levels? How can I utilize them? What can I be aware of what they actually do and mean for me and how I show up and how I respond to circumstances, situations, or conditions in life. And this is so important if you want to change your patterns, your thinking patterns, your behavior patterns, your feelings, and especially like obviously the ones you want to change are the ones that are no longer serving you. So these 6 logical levels start with purpose at the top, or spirituality, whichever way you want to look at it. Purpose, identity, beliefs and values, capabilities, behavior, and environment at the bottom. So we're going to look at each level from the bottom up because each of them influences and is influenced by the other levels. This is why understanding this logically and then being aware of it can be draining and daunting at first. But once you get into these patterns of saying, oh, that's environment, that's competency, that's my identity, that's my spirituality, that's my purpose, this is my values, this is my environment again, oh, this is my behavior, this is my capabilities, you can catch it and you'd be like, is this working for me? Or do I desire to create a shift in the pattern and change it? So looking at the hierarchy of this, for example, your purpose is the highest level. So if you think of a pyramid, the purpose is the tippy top. It defines your vision, your mission in life. And just below that is your identity. This reflects who you are, self-actualization, the roles that you play. Below that are your beliefs and values. This is the system below your identity. Like, what do you believe? What do you value? And then below that, it's going to shape, actually, your belief and your values will shape your motivation and success. So if you're desiring more success, next level success, next level time freedom, money freedom, we got to look at your beliefs and values for sure. Which right below that is your capabilities. So if your capabilities are top notch and you're at your highest level of your capabilities and your confidence, then your beliefs are going to match that, because again, these are directly corresponding, impacting, relating, and influencing one another. Then we really can look at capabilities as our skill sets, right? These are things, strategies. These are also the criteria of achieving our goals. Like, do I have the skill sets to reach this goal? Do I need to hire and help? Do I need to learn something new? And below our capabilities is our behavior. Just because we're capable doesn't mean that we do the thing, right? Or because many of us are capable of doing a lot of things that we say we want, but we don't always show up to behave. And this is our actions. This is real-time actions and habits. This is our behavior. And then we look at our environment. So this is the lowest level. This describes the context and the condition of how and when you operate. So if you think about this as, again, hierarchy of a pyramid of what this looks like, your purpose, your spirituality is the tippy top, then your identity, then your beliefs, then your capabilities, then your behavior, then your environment. So how do we want to look at this when we're talking about we're changing our patterns, we're changing who we are, how we show up, because what we were doing, showing up, being, responding, or reacting to the world, those patterns and beliefs and software system is no longer serving us, right? Or it's giving us a good life, but we don't want to sacrifice the great when good is good enough. So good is good enough until we desire more. And if we desire more, you deserve what you desire, is my point in saying that. So the environment is about the external conditions that the behavior is taking place. So are we giving our power away to the environment and saying, oh, it's raining outside, so I'm not going to go for a jog? Well, maybe the rain would actually feel good because it's still very humid here in Florida. And this actually happened to me the other day. And I'm like, oh, whatever, suck it up, buttercup. We can do this, right? So the environment is usually, you can tell if someone is giving their power away or has a pattern based on their environment by the way they talk about explaining what happened. This can also come across as complaining, and I'm highly, highly allergic to complainers, by the way. So if you haven't known that about me, there you go. The next one from that, now again, we're going from the bottom up, is behavior. Behavior, the actions and reactions, which again, shifting that pattern of reacting to responding. Allow your new behavior pattern to be one of aligned action and responding. And this is you as the individual in the environment, describing how this was, and includes what you might have done differently. Because even though we've done something and we really do enjoy the results, like, ooh, but what could I have done differently to even have a better result? That goes back to behavior. The next one above behavior is capabilities and competency. So the ability or capability or your competence level is the how, like your skill sets and the strategy. And sometimes when we think about this, it's like, do I need to learn another skill set? Do I need to develop something further? Do I need to hire this out because I really don't want to be the one doing this and I don't want to be the competent one, but I've gotten myself this far. So the awareness of that and shifting those patterns of your capabilities and the skill sets about that are key. And you get to decide, again, what you are not changing, you're choosing. So are you complaining about the environment, or are you complaining about, I'm not good enough, or I don't have enough skills or degrees to blah, blah, blah? Then this is a pattern process that you get to decide if you want to break or not, because I guarantee if it's from the complaining space of energy, it's holding you back. Belief might be the thought of why, right? Your beliefs, like we said before, are just patterns of thoughts, right? And your beliefs will be stemming from your values. So these are all the reasons behind your behavior. So if we go back to behavior, the actions or reactions, your beliefs directly affect your behavior. And this will include any underlying values of what you are showing up as and who you are showing up as, right? And we want to make sure that when you think about beliefs, that we reinforced that you might have a strong belief or you might undermine a capability. So if a belief that you are not good at selling, or you're not good at drawing, or you're not good at public speaking, this could undermine any attempt to actually have the possibility and potentiality to draw well, to speak well, to sell well. So beliefs are the critical piece of all of this. And this is honestly where I start with all of my clients. And it's critical to understand the ones that you have, the ones that you value, and the ones that you want to ditch and honor and release and move on. And so let's talk about identity, because our beliefs also impact directly and indirectly our identity. This is who you are. This is a sense of self. This is self-actualization. What makes you tick? What is your passion or passions? And if you're suffering from a lot of stress or burnout, which I have multiple times, this is where the identity level is really engaged, right? And identifying with just one thing is not a healthy way to do and show up in life, because we are multiple things. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a neighbor, I'm a daughter, I'm a friend, I'm a sister, I'm a community member, I'm a volunteer, I'm a board member, I'm all these things. I get to identify with them all. And putting all your identity in one basket is kind of setting yourself up for limited capabilities of what is really possible in our limitlessness and opportunity and possibilities. And then lastly is that spirituality. So like I said, this is usually called purpose. Sometimes it's called spirituality, and not a lot of people like to look at it as logical. I like to look at it as it is part of it, because when you're truly living in alignment, living out your fullest potential, living out a very fulfilled life full of joy and bliss, you're thinking logically and you're feeling intuitively. And it's this head-heart coherence that we get to play in, and we get to harmonize, and we get to master our competencies and the ways we be and how we show up, with both working very well together. And when we're working both together, this is what allows us to live beyond what I could experience or accomplish as an individual. I'm going to say that again, to experience beyond what I could as an individual, because we're here meant to do life together. And we are bigger than just the one that we are here, right? So when we think about all of this working together, when we're thinking about repatterning or reprogramming the patterns and the behaviors and the habits we have in place, it's really important that we look at these elements that make up our experience, from our spirituality, our purpose, our identity, our beliefs, our capabilities, our competencies, our behavior, and our environment. And at any time, are we giving all our power away to one or multiple of these? And at any time, how is that pattern showing up? And when and if and where can we kind of get curious and play in the space of possibility and restructure that and reutilize how we show up in different ways, right? So this is a really fun place to play. It can also be very draining. So I don't recommend going all crazy, and just noticing what you're noticing is enough. But understanding these logical levels will allow you to shift the operating system and the language that you're using, so that you can start to see greater results in your results, not just now, but well into your future. Because now life is happening, right? And the idea behind this is making sure that when you know what you know, which now you know, all levels, it's now what do you do with the knowledge that you have? Because you can listen to this and think, oh, that sounds cool, or I'm now motivated, but what are you now going to integrate from what has been activated from this conversation today? And that is the key to everything, because you can read all the books, you can take all the courses, you can hire all the coaches, you can do all the things. But what are you integrating that is in alignment for what you are desiring to be, do, feel, and live out? Because that's really what this all is at the end of the day, is living out your best life, living out your dreams and desires, and not sacrificing because of a situation, circumstance, or condition, or what all of those all lead to, which we just found out. We can blame it on an environment, but it's really our patterns, our ways of showing up, our personal responsibility of how we've been responding, and knowing what's working and what's no longer serving us, and taking ownership of that, and not owning it as who we are. It's just where we are and where you desire to move forward. So to wrap this up, if you're like, well, how do I even get clear on what I should be looking at? Well, get clear first on what you want, and what could potentially be holding you back. Most of the time it's multiple behaviors and patterns. And when you catch yourself blaming or shaming other people for why you don't have what you have, that's just an indication to go deeper, right? So what you want, what's possibly blocking you, have fun and play in that space of curiosity. Why do you even want that? What will that experience or result provide for you? What type of feelings will you have? Who are you to show up to experience that? Because we're not getting to the experience, the result, the dream, or the goal. We are becoming the person to experience it. So it's all part of the journey of the expression of getting there, which feels like a getting there, but we're not actually getting there. We're already experiencing it now because it's already happening. It's happening for us. This is how it looks when it's all falling together. This is what I like to say. When things are feeling like they're all falling apart, this is what it looks like when it's all falling together or coming together. And then the last who is who's in your support system to support you. At the end of the day, again, we're not meant to do this alone, especially when you're having some massive breakthroughs, especially when you're leveling up, especially when you're desiring more and you feel guilty because you're living a pretty good life, but you know that there's more that you desire, whether it's fulfillment, vitality, love, connection, happiness, money, time freedom, next level, wealth and richness in all the ways. Lean in. Find your person or group, because at the end of the day, it will accelerate your results. You will be able to recognize and be asked the tough questions. Like that's really what coaching and mentorship is all about, is asking bigger, better questions to go deep. And with my clients, I'm not telling them what to do. I'm asking them the questions so that ultimately they are utilizing these tools, using these logical components and elements to shift on their own and come up with their own solution. And yet here I am just helping them guide until they learn to guide themselves. And before you know it, you'll be asking yourself these better, deeper questions. And that's how it works. And it works the way it works because it's part of all the universal laws that govern us. It's not because I'm doing it my way anymore, because my way doesn't work anymore. Like even my next level self, what I've been doing now, my next level self and life's great. Like, I'm like, what's beyond great, right? Next level version of me is going to require different programming and thinking. No matter how much somebody's like, well, no, just keep doing what you're doing. You'll keep getting what you're getting. Yes. But what if I want more? What if I desire more? It's going to, I already know it's going to require different thoughts, patterns, behaviors, and beliefs, environments, competencies, all of it, everything we just covered. Right. So I know this is a lot. This is probably really heavy. So go back and listen to this, take some notes, share with me what you're integrating and applying to your life, what's working, what's not working. I'm here to support you. And with that, the doors are open for the last cohort for the fall. This is the fall cohort for the Rise Up to Experience It All. This is my biggest, most comprehensive program of support that you'll get from me, and you'll have lifetime access to it. And I'm giving away, I think there's only 4 left. I have to take a look, but I believe there's 4 left. There was 7. Now there's 4. One-on-one VIP days in Orlando. So all you have to do is purchase your flight and I take care of the rest. And we have a meal together. Sometimes it's 2 meals, but I guarantee 1 meal and a full day where we go deep on any of this that you want to go deep on. And I bring in other experts as well. I have a lot of other healers in our community that are amazing and have been trained and worked for big corporations like Chopra Foundation and things like that, that we'll have access to, that will have a lot of fun. We'll have some adventure, we'll have some good meals, we'll be fueling, we'll be cracking things open, we'll be integrating, and I'll send you off and you'll still have support beyond that, of course. So if that sounds like something that's great for you, or if you have questions or you're like, oh, I'm not sure, but wow, this just landed for me and I don't even know what to do with it, message me, DM me, freedom emoji, or just say, hey, listen to their podcast and we can get the conversation going. I can gift you an activate and create call. I do that for all my listeners. It's an activate and create call where we really get to have a breakthrough, experience real time what that looks like to start living from your vision, to conquer that gap, and to make decisions in a masterful way. And a lot of this is already unlocking a lot of the programming that's already in place and setting your new default mode to living life by design and not by default, to never allowing a circumstance or situation to hold you back from what you know you desire, because I wholeheartedly believe what you desire, what's in you, is for you. And God, source, universe does not make mistakes. If there's something you're desiring, you're like, why do I desire that so big? I don't know if I want to go after that so big. It's in you, it's for you, and you don't have to do it alone. That's the best part of all this. So until next time, I'm going to send you off with so much love. Bye for now.